ففروا إلى الله إني لكم منه نذير مبين ولا تجعلوا مع الله إلها آخر إني لكم منه نذير مبين.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد وسلم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We thank Allah for making us to be part of Ramadan again today. And in furtherance of our discussion, our topic for today will be Muslim women in the face of challenges. One thing that must be known is that as a Muslim woman is somebody that submits to the dictates of Almighty Allah. And she believes that whatever happened to her, actually come from Almighty Allah. Just like Almighty Allah told us in Quran 9 verse 51, Almighty Allah said, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, Kul la yusibana illa ma kataballahu lana huwa maulana wa ala Allahi falyatawakkalul mu'minun. Almighty Allah was telling the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and referring to all Muslims too, that we should say, nothing will befall us except that which has been written down for us. For Allah on Allah we are rested, and is the one that is our guardian. When we look at this, it means that as Muslim women, we know that nothing can happen to us that escape the knowledge of Almighty Allah. And what Almighty Allah wants from us is for us to be steadfast, to accept it, and to put all our hope in Almighty Allah. Also in Quran 29 verses 2 and 3, Almighty Allah said, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, Ahasiba nas an yutraku an yaqulu amanna fahum la yuftanun. Almighty Allah said, does man think that we shall leave him just like that? That he will continue to say, I believe, without Almighty Allah testing him. Almighty Allah said, I've tested those before you, and I will test you too, for me to know those among you who are actually truthful. So it means that when you talk about challenges and trials, it goes with our religion. Because when we look at the life of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself, he was tried in so many ways. At a point in time in his life, even before he was given birth to, the father has died. At the age of 6, the mother died, and the grandfather that he was left with also died in the shortest period. And at the peak of the persecution by the Quraysh, the uncle and the wife, Khadija bint Khuwailid, that he was so much dependent on, they all died. But Almighty Allah does not leave him, and he too does not leave Almighty Allah. So as Muslim women, we must be ready that at any point in time, there will be one challenge or the other facing us. But what are the attitudes that we should put on? We have cases in history that shows how Muslim women actually cope with challenges. And the first one that I want to call our attention to is Zumaya bint Rabat. Zumaya was the 7th in the number of those people that accepted Islam from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He was the wife of Yasir. During the time, they were the early convert to Islam, and they suffered a great deal in the hands of the polytheists, the Quraysh at that particular time, to the extent that when 3 of them, the father, the mother, and the son, are being persecuted, when the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam will be passing them, he will be telling them, be patient, the people of the household of Yasir. For Almighty Allah is going to reward you with Al-Jannah. So the persecution continues, but the case of Zumaya is exemplary in the sense that at a point in time when Abu Jahl, who was the bitterest enemy of Islam at that particular time, tried as much as possible to cajole her to leave her deen. He does a lot of things in order to attract her to the polytheist ways of life. But Sumaya rather, in her own attitude as a very conscious Muslim woman, decided he's not going to leave Islam for anything. And when Abu Jahl was provoked to an extent, he thrust his spear into her private part and got her killed. In spite of the pain, in spite of what she's actually going through, she endured and she died on this path. And she was actually the first martyr in Islam. When you talk about somebody that died on the path of Islam, Zumaya was the first woman to die on the path of Islam. So what message we have to get from there is that once we have declared that we are Muslims, we must be ready. And one thing that must be known is that Almighty Allah will continuously test us according to the level of our iman, because He has said, La yukallifullahu nafsan illa wus'aha, that He will not burden a soul more than what He can actually accommodate. So that means that whatever befalls us, we must stand by Allah.
إن المسلمين والمسلمات والمؤمنين والمؤمنات والقانتين والقانتات والصادقين والصادقات والصابرين والصابرات والخاشعين والخاشعات والمتصدقين والمتصدقات والصائمين والصائمات والحافظين فروجهم والحافظات والذاكرين الله كثيرا والذاكرات أعد الله لهم مغفرة وأجرا عظيما.
Another person that we want to talk about in history is Habiba Ramla bint Abu Sufyan. Habiba, we all know who Abu Sufyan was. Before he converted to Islam, he was against Islam, and he was among the chieftains of the Quraysh. But Habiba was fortunate to have accepted Islam. She accepted Islam and got married to Ubaydullah bint Jahsh. Ubaydullah was among the first converts to Islam too, because even before Islam, he and some other people have been involving themselves in the pure state of life. They are not joining the idolaters, and they make sure that they distance themselves away from them. But fortunately, unfortunately, Habiba and Ubaydullah, they migrated to Abyssinia together. And on migrating there, Ubaydullah, the first thing that happened was that Habiba was a prayerful woman. He prayed a lot, and Almighty Allah usually showed him so many signs. So on a night, he dreamt that the face of Ubaydullah was actually defaced. And he was thinking about what could this mean? What will actually bring this to her husband? He was afraid to tell him the dream. But in the next morning, Ubaydullah came to her to tell her that he has been a Christian before and he intends to change back to Christianity, and that he wants to advise her to join him in Christianity. Habiba decided he's not going to leave Islam. And that was how Ubaydullah became Christian. He started drinking and he started doing a lot of things. At that particular time, Habiba was with her only daughter Habiba at that particular time. So he was only taking care of her child. and praying to Almighty Allah to do the best for her. Along the line, Ubaydullah died out of reckless drinking, and she was left alone to take care of her daughter. So, and Habiba was not actually deterred. He rested on Almighty Allah and depended on him. He was in Abyssinia, and it was an occasion that happened when the people from Abyssinia went to visit the prophet, and they mentioned her case to the prophet. And the prophet took pity on her and decided to get married to Habiba. So eventually, Habiba became one of the wives of the prophet. My sisters at home, I want us to learn a lesson from here, especially those of us that are having problem with our husbands one way or the other. We must know that whatever happened to one's husband, one need to pray for them. But if you find the husband is not doing the right thing, it's not enough for you to join him in doing what is bad. Habiba was able to maintain her level, and he was able to stand by Allah, and Allah was enough for him. Almighty Allah bring an end to the life of Ubaydullah, and Almighty Allah exchange the best of mankind for her as husband, and she does not have any regret. But one thing that must be known is that in such a condition, one may feel a lot of pain, and one may feel, why me? But as a Muslim, that question shouldn't come from us. We must know that it's happening to us because it has been destined to happen to us. And we need to accept it as it's happening so that Almighty Allah will give us the full reward at the end of the day. So as Muslim women, we must learn how to cope with challenges. It may be from ourselves, it may be from our husband, it may even be from children. Because even today, so many challenges are coming from our children, and we need to just stand by Allah, be patient, and handle the case with a lot of care. And I believe by prayer and by sincerity of purpose, Almighty Allah is always around to actually solve our problems for us. So we must know that as Muslims, especially Muslim women, there is no way out of any challenge than for us to get closer to Allah, for us to be more dedicated. Do a lot of salawat, do a lot of nawafil, make sure you fast a lot, and know and continuously tell yourself that there is no other alternative than you depending on Allah. Especially in this Ramadan, all the obstacles, all the challenges that we may have, we need to throw everything in the sight of Almighty Allah. And Almighty Allah is ever ready to listen to us, because our case is like somebody that continuously knock on the door. If you don't desist from knocking on the door, at the end of the day, the door will be opened. And I pray Almighty Allah will soothe all our wounds and solve all our problems and make us have cause to glorify His name at the end of the day. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
That is for Deen al-Islam, religion with Allah since time began. That is for dhikr, remembering Allah, and Ra is for the month of Ramadan. Oh, Ramadan. That is for zakah, to cure our greed, when we give our money to those in need. Sa is for salamun alaykum, peace be with you, wa alaykum as-salam.